The fact that we are in 2025 is actually insane. Like, where did the time go? 2024 was a lot. Whether your 2024 was good, whether it was bad, whether it was mid, 2025 still has so much potential to be so much better. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha. This channel has been struggling since I started it, but let's not mind that. So if you're new here, I make content on honestly whatever I want, but more so lifestyle, motherhood, and things of that nature. I may or may not be taking this channel in a different direction this year, so stick around if you'd like to see. But either way, in light of the new year, I wanted to talk about my 2025 ins and outs, or basically things I'm leaving behind in 2024 and things that I'm trying to embrace in 2025. Tons of people on YouTube do videos like this, so I just thought I would add my own 2 cents. And I'm not a huge fan of like New Year's resolutions or things like that. I do like vision boards and like, you know, reflecting on the year and things like that, but I'm not the type to set like specific goals for this year, and if I end up not reaching it, then I'm like, you know, crying about it in December. But I do like to set a tone for what I want my year to entail. Whether I achieve those things or I don't, it was something that was set with intention to where I would be working on it, or it was something that was top of mind at least. And whether you want to do that or not, I think this time of year is a great time to really just self-reflect on your life in the previous year, things you want to change, things you want to do differently, how much you've grown, what did you like about the year, what do you want to continue doing. I just feel like it's just a good time for reflection at the least. As for me, I've listed about 10 ins and outs, 5 of each that nobody asked for, but I'm going to share it anyway. So if you're interested, keep watching. And just to preface, I feel like a lot of these things may overlap, but they are still a bit more distinct as to why I listed them. So the first in is self-doubt. We're leaving that behind. This year, I really just want to show up as my authentic self and stop doubting myself and just be more confident in who I am, what I'm doing, what I want to say, how I feel. And even if there's things for me to improve on or whatever, like, I still feel like I shouldn't always doubt myself or doubt my potential or doubt my capabilities or just doubt like what the possibilities are in life for me. And I don't want to overthink things for myself or overthink how other people are perceiving me because of whatever that I've concocted in my head. And yeah, so we're leaving that behind. Like, life is literally too short to not show up as yourself and be your true self and constantly doubt yourself. And truthfully, that comes with time. I feel like this year, I'm 27 right now. I'm turning 28 in 2025. And honestly, as I've gotten older, like, I have come into my own more and not doubt myself as much and become more confident in my decisions and anything that I'm doing. But now that I'm about to be 28, literally pushing 30, I'm like, okay, girl, you're a little bit too old to constantly be doing this. Like, you need to really just show up as you and own that. Another out is weight loss pressure or unrealistic weight loss. Granted, I'm still on a weight loss journey. So I am still trying to lose weight this year, but not with like crazy goals, like do this in 2 months or 3 months or 4 months, which I did embrace in 2024, honestly. But I think now it's actually solidified in my mind. That's how I want to be. Like, I don't want every workout to be tied to me thinking I'm gonna lose 5 pounds after the workout, which is unrealistic anyway. But yeah, like, I've definitely learned to love working out just for the benefits of mental clarity and relieving stress and, you know, eating better because my body feels better. Even though I still look at numbers like on the scale and stuff, like, it doesn't hinder me from doing anything like that I'm already doing. So working out, eating, whatever. Granted, I can improve with the eating, but no big pressures and things like that. The next out is negative self-talk. So that inner critic who's always nitpicking at every little thing and making a big deal about any minor mistake or whatever, she has to go. Like, she needs to stay behind in 2024, which ties into self-doubt, where you might not feel confident in yourself with things, but more so like how you actually speak to yourself mentally or even verbally. I know some people speak to themselves out loud. I don't though. And not speaking down on yourself, more so like uplifting yourself, which I think starts with doing things. Maybe like, you know, people do positive affirmations and all these things like that. Maybe that's where it could start from. But yeah, I feel like I need to stop doing that. At least like from a mental standpoint, I feel like I do tend to like nitpick at myself or like overthink things in a negative way towards myself, which is not okay, because I feel like if I'm capable of being my biggest critic, I can be capable of being my biggest cheerleader as well. But it's so much easier to criticize yourself than to actually give yourself like credit on things, or actually acknowledge like the good things and achievements of yourself. Or even if you're not doing anything spectacular, like just being you, that's a good thing too. And that's not to say that I don't believe in critique if it's constructive. Like, constructive criticism is great, even if it's towards yourself. But to speak negatively towards yourself, I feel like doesn't serve anyone. Like, in the same way, I feel like I would speak to one of my friends about something and I would approach it and I would approach it with, you know, compassion and kindness and being, you know, patient or understanding, is the same way I need to approach myself, but it's so much harder. The next out is overextending myself, which I feel like I've talked about in a previous video about like trying to be super mom and things like that. But even outside of motherhood, I think I just need to work on setting boundaries with anything. And I know that like for a lot of people, they overextend themselves with things that other people ask of them, whether it's at work or friends or family. But I think that we do that to ourselves as well, where we're spreading ourselves too thin with things that we're expecting to have done or do on a certain day or by a certain time. And I feel like now that I'm in a space where I try to be as productive as possible, sometimes it's just draining, and I feel like I need to stop overextending myself and letting myself know that it's okay if this doesn't get done, or it's okay if, you know, like you're not accomplishing a million things this week and you only accomplished 5. Like, it's okay. And just being able to say no and not feel guilty about it, or even just being able to say like not now and not feel guilty about it, I think is something that is a huge benefit, in my opinion, for making sure that like you're not burning yourself out. The next thing is feeling embarrassed, or feeling like I don't want to be seen or whatever, or just overly thinking about other people's thoughts. Like, it's like, okay, like if other people are thinking a certain thing, then that doesn't necessarily mean you need to start thinking that about yourself or doubting yourself or whatever, which is something I really struggle on. And it's not like, I think we get into our own heads of like what people's thoughts are, because no one has ever told me like anything about what I'm doing in a negative way. At least I can't recall in the past 2-3 years that would hinder me from doing anything. But I think like in my head, it's just like sometimes you just think you're so cringy. And I guess like when it comes to like, you know, content creation and things like that, it is a little bit cringy when you're first starting out, but who cares? Like, who cares? Like, even when I'm at the gym and I want to do like a gym routine, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to film myself. But it's like literally these people don't even know you, and if they do feel like it's cringy, they don't know you. Like, they don't even know your name. I don't know, it's very easy to care about people like opinions who really don't matter. But yeah, in 2025, being more bold, taking more risk, not staying in the shadows, I think those are all things that everyone needs to embrace, whether you're in my position with feeling embarrassed about content and things like that, or if you're just in your own personal life, whatever it is you're doing, like be confident about it, be bold about it. You know, it's okay to like take people's opinions into account, but don't let that actually like determine what you're doing or when you're doing things or whatever. I just realized that I went through all of my outs and I stopped doing my ins. Now for my ins, prioritizing self-care. So just making sure that I'm taken care of, kind of putting myself first, but not really, because I feel like when you have a child or you have kids, like I don't really see how you could put yourself first, truly. But yeah, at least like prioritizing myself, like putting myself higher on the list of things that I prioritize, or prioritizing myself more is super important. And I think specifically self-care, like making sure that I'm taken care of in every capacity that I could possibly control is super important. And I think I started doing that towards the later end of 2025, but actually not really, if I really think about it. Not in the way that I would like it to be. I feel like I want to be more intentional about it, to the point where it's like an everyday or at least a weekly conscious decision for self-care, and not necessarily like the aesthetic self-care, like getting my nails done and whatever, but more so just like the basics of like, you know, making sure I'm rested, relaxing, drinking water, things like that, like even the basic stuff like that. But obviously like the pretty stuff too, or not the pretty, the aesthetic stuff too, would be great, which I do want to do more of that too. But even just the bare minimum, I feel like I really need to be more intentional about that. The next in is routines. So I think I've already like got into the habit of having certain routines for things, but I used to feel like I was somebody who didn't like routines, which I wasn't somebody who liked routines, because I thought routines get boring. Like I want to do something different every day. I don't want to do the same thing every day. But I've learned the benefits of routines and how routines mean stability. Like if you're able to have a routine, that means your life is stable. Like you're able to do, you know, specific things consistently every day at a certain time or at a certain cadence or whatever. And I like that. But I feel like in 2025, I need to have more realistic routines and understand that a routine doesn't have to be followed to the T. Like a routine isn't necessarily like a task list per se. It's just more so how you know your day should go or how you know your morning should go. Having small manageable habits like implemented in my life, I feel like makes things more manageable on a bigger scale and less overwhelming. So that's definitely an in for this year. The next in is dressing up just for the heck of it. Like, why not do your makeup, even if you're home and you work from home like myself and you stay at home with your child all day like myself. You can still do your makeup. You can still put on a cute loungewear fit or like a cute activewear set or whatever, just to be home. Now, do I do this? No, but I would like to start doing more of it, which is why it's 2025 in. I do feel like it's easier said than done, especially when it's comfortable to be bummy at home or in your everyday life. But sometimes like you really will feel better when you look better. When you look good, you feel good. And I feel like when you feel good, you just feel like more empowered to do things or more empowered to accomplish things, and it puts you in a better mood. And I don't know, I just feel like it's something that I want to do more. And even when it comes to like things like perfume, like sometimes I'll save my nice perfumes if I'm leaving the house, but it's like even if I'm not leaving the house, I could still spray nice perfume on. Like, why not? Even the perfumes are expensive, but you could layer them with body sprays or whatever. Okay, I'm going off tangent now. But yeah, I think like since I've started working from home and I've had a baby, like I've lost the joy of actually getting dressed and putting myself together every day. And I feel like I need to implement that back, even if it's not every day, but you know, sometimes just making sure that like I'm still like in my groove. The next in is more social media breaks. I feel like in 2024, I didn't take any social media breaks that I could recall. And I feel like that's not healthy. So literally on January 1st of this year, 2025, I randomly clicked on Instagram and I deactivated my account. I didn't second guess it. I didn't look at anything. I just did it, and that was that. And I feel good about it. Like I feel like I am not spending as much time scrolling on Instagram specifically. I don't really scroll on TikTok like that. And YouTube doesn't count to me because YouTube, I kind of just use it as like a podcast thing. Like I mostly just listen to podcasts. So it's not really something that's physically like taking up my time like scrolling. As much as I'm enjoying not being on Instagram, I've noticed how addicted I am, because every few minutes whenever I'm on my phone, I'm clicking on the app because the app is still there. It's just my account is deactivated. And then I'm like, oh wait, yeah, I'm not logged in or whatever. And I'm just like, the amount of times that happens is actually insane. I might have to just delete the app altogether, because at this point it's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, I just want to have more breaks throughout the year, where even if it's a day, a week, right now I'm trying to do a month, I might just pop on just to do, you know, when you have like a friend's birthday or something, you pop on, say happy birthday and all that stuff. I might do that, I might not, who knows. But for right now, I'm very comfortable with like not having that distraction. The last in is just being more planned and prepped for things, and having my future self thank me. I feel like that's something I've started to do, and I want to continue doing, where I've had moments where I've gotten something done in advance and my future self is like, thank God this was done, because it just saves me so much time on the back end or the front end, one of them. But whenever I'm actually in the moment having to do something that required some kind of planning or prepping, or you know, just doing it earlier, like I didn't procrastinate too long on it, I don't know, my future self is just always so thankful about that. So that's something that helps with being more consistent, being more organized. It helps keep my peace, because I'm not always scrambling for certain things or doing certain things. So yeah, just being more prepared, being more planned, which requires more intention to even do that, because it's like basically I'm planning to plan or planning to prep or whatever. But and as a bonus in for this year is just being more grateful, having a heart of gratitude. I feel like having a heart of gratitude is really what keeps you grounded, and it also brings about a sense of peace sometimes when you feel like everything is going crazy in your life or whatever. But when you really sit back and look at all the things that your life entails and the things that you can still be grateful for, because even life itself is something to be grateful for, even though it doesn't always feel that way. Yeah, an attitude of gratitude. So that's pretty much it for my 2025 ins and outs. I'd love to hear what you guys have listed for your ins and outs of this year, if you have any, or if you guys are into New Year resolutions, I'd love to hear what those are, or if you have a vision board, what are some of the things that's on your vision board? I just want to know what you guys are feeling for this year. What's your vibe this year? What do you have going on? What did you hate about last year? Leave all that down in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.